What's good? What's good? We are back. Another episode of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. So my next guest will be fighting at BKFC 67 in Denver, Colorado at the Denver Coliseum. He has a 3-3 record in BKFC's men's flyweight division, number 4 ranked men's flyweight. Let's bring on the one and only Chancey Superfly Wilson.
Hey, how
Chancey,
you
how you
doing,
doing,
man?
man?
Doing alright. Just
That's
chilling.
what's up. That's what's up. I want to start with a nickname. I was thinking about something with the nickname. Is that like kind of a reference to the weight class you fight, the Superfly?
Yeah, yeah, actually it is. Super
Yeah, that's what
flyweight
I
for
think.
boxing.
Last second, I was sitting there thinking, oh, like, oh, that's a weight class thing, Superfly.
Yeah, yeah. Super fly in boxing is like from 118 to 122, I believe. And
Okay.
I fight it a low weight, even at flyweight. I only cut like 4 pounds. So yeah, I think MMA and bare knuckle should have smaller weight classes, but it takes a while for that kind of shit to grow.
So, what got you into this fight game?
I just used to wrestle in college.
Okay.
Red shirted, and ended up dropping out my freshman year, so I didn't really get much college experience. But I wrestled in college, and after college dropping out, I didn't have shit to do. So my buddy was like, "Man, you might as well fight, man. You just sitting around drinking, smoking, not doing nothing, and working fast food." So he's like, "Man, you got." I said, "Man, I'm gonna be pro wrestling here in a few years, and we ain't even gonna be able to hang out. We ain't have nothing to talk about, you know." He's kind of right,
So,
so that's how I
so
have.
wrestling got you into MMA too, then I guess.
Yeah, but basically wrestling. We used to go to the MMA gym just to wrestle. So even in high school, so I just went to the MMA gym, and the guy said, "Hey, you wanna train for free? If you fight for me, you can train for free." So it's kind of how I started.
Now, how do you get into bare knuckle though? How do you go from MMA to I'm gonna do bare knuckle?
Bare knuckle just came around, randomly. I remember watching Rowdy Beck jump in it. That was like the first person that brought attention to it for me. And
Okay.
then, they just kind of came around, came in town like close to the pandemic. Uh, Good guy from our town, Olympian from my town, bronze medalist Nico Hernandez. They asked him to fight on the show. And then they had nobody for him to fight. They had nobody his size. And, I was training at his gym. His dad already knew me, was already connection there. So they just matched us up and it worked out. So that's how I started. He
Now,
quit. It was this one, and he was one and done, and I kept doing it.
yeah, I noticed that. Like the your first fight. Now, I mean, what was the first fight like? Was that like really a learning curve for you?
The first fight was I don't know. You kind of get that first feel of what it feels like to get hit without a glove. That was pretty much it. And seeing that, you see how easy it is to get cut, but you learn quick that it's not boxing. It's not MMA. It's a whole thing of its own. So I guess right off the bat, I learned that pretty quick.
Now, you said he quit and you kept it going. So you're like the longest running flyweight, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm the longest one running flyweight. Um, the kind of creative flyweight when I came around. They didn't really have any flyweights until I stepped in this. So yeah, longest running flyweight.
So do you feel like the OG of the flyweights right now?
I feel like an OG in bare knuckle now. It's like year 4, going on year 5. I've been doing this. 3 and 3 don't sound like a lot, but that's a lot of bare knuckle fights. To be honest, yeah, I feel like an OG for sure.
I mean, you got people that go their whole life and don't get in a one bare knuckle fight. So
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
it can that could be a lot for a lot of people. Now, your second fight was with I think his name is Josh Ritchie. With the distance, and you had the one knockdown to his zero. Now, what's the game plan after the knockdown, first knockdown? Are you trying to just knock him out after that? And if that doesn't work, you got to just avoid getting hit and making any mistakes at that point.
I just fight, man. I always think I'm losing regardless if I get a knockdown or not. I never know how the judges is going to, sway the fight, So I just kind of just keep fighting, whether if I can finish him or not. I don't want to gas out in there because I'm used to doing that. I don't want to gas out there, so I'm not going to try to pounce on him, and I like to try to be a little calculated.
So even when
Yeah,
you get a knockdown on them and they got no knockdowns, you still got the mindset of I'm losing this fight and I still got to fight to win.
yeah. I still gotta stay in his face. I still gotta stay busy. You know, you can't back up too much in this game. I mean, back it up looks bad. I mean, my eyes. But
Now, what's the typical game plan when you're fighting somebody so much taller like that? I think he had like a 10-inch height advantage.
yeah, I mean, tall guys is it's kind of weird every time. It just depends on their boxing ability, really. I mean, if they have a good jab, good stiff jab, it's kind of hard for me. I got to get around it. But I mean, a lot of them not fast. They're not as durable as me, so I kind of close the distance real quick and just get to their body, get to their head, wherever I can touch them. So I need to grab more. I mean, that's one element I haven't done a lot in bare knuckle. I don't really grab or clinch a whole lot. I did it in my first fight, but since then I've been trying to work my boxing and you know
Mhm.
actually work my game. So I need to grab and brawl a little bit more. I think.
Why do you feel like you don't grab or clinch enough? I know some fighters say that's a good time to really like get points, like
Yeah,
punching
it
to
just
the
feels like a
side and
bitch
stuff
way
like
of
that.
fighting to me. Yeah,
Okay.
I got my first fight. I grabbed dude in the headlock. I punched him a bunch of times, but they were like people say that's like a little brother move, and then when I watch it, it did kind of look cheap. And then later they kind of took that out of the rule set. They said no headlocks, no
Okay.
grabbing the head. So I mean, you can grab them, but more like a tie clinch, not a like a headlock. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't. It just kind of feels like kind of lame to me, like a cop out, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I could get that because I see a lot of times when somebody's in trouble, that's what the game plan to do is try to grab the fighter in the clinch. And like there was a fight last night where a dude kept grabbing and whatnot. I forgot what fight it was, but oh boy was getting mad because he kept grabbing when he was clearly on the ropes and whatnot.
Yeah, and I feel like it turns into a crutch too. You seem like with the Christine fight when they fought in Canada, they was grabbing a lot, and
Yeah.
it was like their go to defense. Just every time when somebody swung a punch, you grab and kind of lock them down, which I mean it just makes for a boring fight. I think I like to try to work my boxing and look clean in there.
Yeah, I always said, man, to me, man, you remind me of like a pit bull, man, in there, like you know, like, and I think the flyweight division in general, like a lot of y'all fight like pit bulls to me, man. I don't know, y'all just be going on the attack. So you fought Justin Martinez. You beat him in the first round. Why would you think you were able to beat him just so quickly?
I mean, he's just not on the caliber I'm on. I mean, I got a lot of losses in my MMA career. I mean, my MMA record is terrible, but I've been fighting for a while, man. I was 9-3 as an amateur and 2-7 in MMA as a pro, but I fought on all the best shows. A lot of the guys I lost to is in the UFC now, so it's like I've never been in there with scrubs. I just think he just never was on my level as a fighter. I mean, he's a tough guy, good guy, military vet, great guy, human being, but just not on my level in terms of fighting. So yeah, I mean, and then he looks big until you get in there with him, and he's just not really that much bigger than me. It's kind of
Yeah,
like
because he actually lost to Blaine Warbrecht, and Blaine didn't even make weight from what I heard, and he just looked out of shape. And like you said, Justin looked pretty cock diesel when he got in there, but I guess it's a whole different sport. So you fought good friend of the show, J.R. Ridge. What was that fight like?
I mean, that was like my favorite fight, man. I was out of shape. I didn't
Okay.
train. I was like in the gym like 2 3 times out of that training camp. I didn't have my coach. I mean, I was embarrassed to even ask my coach to show up because I haven't even been in the gym. And no, I just kind of went in there just knowing I was going to beat him. I just feel like Jr. was like kind of same as Justin Martinez. He didn't really have a lot of experience. Wasn't really qualified in my eyes to be in there with me. He just really had a lot of size, a lot of pop. He's a tough dude for sure, but I just feel like he really wasn't on my caliber. I got tired, and that kind of played into the fight. The last 10 seconds of the fight, I mean, it looked like he was beating the shit out of me. You know, I was really just tired, but it looked like he was finishing me in there. So that played into the judges and him being from his hometown. So I mean, but it was a fun fight all around. I mean, I played the most in out of all my fights. I played the most in that fight. Flipping them all, calling them bitches, and really just trying to make it a dog fight. So I
And
like
like
that
you
fight. It's
said,
still
it looked like
one
a
of the
dog fight. That's why I felt like y'all were like some bulldogs in there, man.
yeah. That's one of the ones I go back and I watch a few times. Because I know I could have won that fight if I was just in shape and I was boxing the way I knew I could box. Because I mean, Ridge he could fight, but I mean, he just technically just not where I'm at. I feel like so I feel like I could have beat him in the boxing.
You think we'll see a rematch in the future?
I would see how this fight goes. I feel like if I win this fight, I mean, the sky's the limit. I could fight anybody and make it an event. So just see how this fight goes. I mean, this kid, he's a prospect coming up, but he's a tough kid. Trained with the Mayweathers. I believe he was even on the Olympic team, and fought on the Zupa fight for Dana White. Fought in front of Dana White. So I mean, kid can box. He's been on some good cards. So we'll see how this goes. If I beat him, I'm calling for everybody. Tatsuki, Dodson, J.R. Ridge. Whoever's at the top of the flyweight division, I want to fight him.
Now, but you think it's a little disrespectful? Like he's only 1-0. They had, I'll go to BKFC rankings, then you go to like some of these other rankings. Like Knuckletown official had him ranked higher than you with like one fight. I'm like, what? That's kind of disrespectful, right?
I mean, just it's fighting's all about the accolades you bring to the table. So I mean, it's just going based off his background and what it seems like he could bring to the table. Being tied in with the Mayweathers and this is the stuff he's done before he got here. That's what they're riding on. They think they could really build off of that. That's what makes him a good prospect. That's just all
Yeah.
business. I understand that. I mean, I like being an underdog. you know, I like being. I mean,
So
you get more attention that way.
you fought.
If you was post,
Go ahead.
go ahead. Yeah,
The what's his name? Dagoberto. Is that how I pronounce it?
yeah, Dagoberto.
Is he probably been your toughest opponent so far?
Technically, yeah. I think he's for a technical boxer, and he's toughest opponent for sure. I mean, he was hard to get around. He was real patient, but I mean, he was doing some tactics in there that I just wasn't used to, like putting the fingers in my face and being long in there. I mean, he was definitely toughest opponent. Uh, I just feel like I didn't come with the right game plan. My coach was out for that fight. He ended up having to get eye surgery, so I didn't really have my coach, even though he worked with me through all the training camp. So I really didn't. No, I don't think I approached that fight good. So it is what it is. He's toughest opponent for sure. Beat the shit out of Dawson. So I mean that shows the caliber he's on.
Now, how do you like stay motivated, like even after a loss going into the next fight?
Man, I just like to fight, man. No,
Just
I
like to
like to make
fight.
money. I I got kids, I got family, I got dreams, for sure, so they all been seeing me doing this fight thing and wanting to see something big come from it and some work out. So I mean, I got something to prove, I feel like. So yeah, I'm always motivated to fight, sure, win or loss.
Now, do you feel like this next one is a must win?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they always must win. The last one was a must win, for sure, this is a must win. I can't let a guy that they're bringing in as prospect they're trying to build up. I can't let him beat me. When it comes to the negotiation table, I think that win is gonna really help me out a lot. So I need that win for sure.
And like, how many fights would you typically like to fight per year, man?
Ideally for bare knuckle, at least two to
At least
three. I
two. That's
mean,
what I'm hearing. At least two for most people.
yeah, I mean, it takes a while when especially when you get cut. I mean, the cuts stay tender for a while. I mean, I haven't broken anything yet, but I'm pretty sure the recover time for that shit, those little micro breaks and shit like that, it takes a while. So, I mean,
But it's like,
I
go
fractured my
ahead.
eye against Dagoberto, so that
Oh
cut me
man.
out for the whole year. So that's why I'm just now finally getting the fight. So, and it takes a while
Now,
for sure.
so I mean, I understand when you got injuries that just keep you out for a while, but like if you don't got injuries, say like you win a fight, like the Justin Martinez fight, you win. You don't even. I'm pretty sure you didn't even get hurt at all in that fight, right?
Nah,
Now,
I could have fought the next week.
yeah. So after a while, is there a thing of ring rust? Is that become a thing where you ain't fought for so long and you could be rusty?
Uh, I don't know, not really for me. I don't think so, because I mean, all my fights has been spread out.
Okay.
Even though I got a ton of losses with from MMA, they're all spread out losses. Like I wouldn't fight until another year from now or another couple years from now, and I
So you're
always jump
used
back
to it.
in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm just used to like basically being on the shelf until I get another one. And plus being 125, it's not a lot of fights in between, and most of the time I get a fight offer, it's like in 3 weeks or a week. So I'm just jumping in the gym and then jumping into a fight. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I believe in ring rust or not.
Do you feel like the flyweight is like the heart and soul of BKFC?
I feel like we are definitely an exciting weight class. I mean, it's not really a boring fight in the division. I mean,
Yeah.
you can get some low level guy, you can get some high level guy. It doesn't matter. Put them in a fight, and then it's always entertaining with the flyweights. They're going to get busy. So yeah, I mean, we'll see with time. We still got a lot of names to build up to really make the flyweight division what it is, but we'll see.
So what did you think about last night's event?
Man, that it's exciting, man. It's like you just seeing all these great things Connor involved, and yeah, Kodak Black out there, he fucking they partying, and I mean it's cool, man. I like seeing the sport where it's at and how much it's climbing and how many eyeballs are getting on this. I mean, they had that arena in Spain packed, man. Worldwide, this thing is becoming a global thing, so it's exciting, man.
What'd you think about that main event? Like while I was watching it, Chris Lido said something that stuck out to me where he said it was like watching a Rocky movie, and it was like,
Yeah, I mean Tony, man, he's fucking tough, dude. He's just a tough individual. Me and him actually was on the first card together, I believe, and he's just a like you'd think he'd been doing this fight shit his whole life. Like
yeah,
his charisma and just the way he carries himself and how he just talks about the sport. Like you'd think he just always been a fighter, and before that he was like a skateboarder and doing a bunch of other shit. And the way he fought last night, that was a veteran performance, man. So
yeah.
I really like Tony. And I think he's elevating into the sport for sure. I mean, he puts on some fights, and he does some memorable things, like when he was talking about fucking the dog at the weigh-in. Like, I'll fuck your dog. You know, like that kind of shit is just so crazy, man.
He
But
said that in the way in. I'll fuck your dog.
yeah, the way in, the dude who was fighting had his dog on stage. He was like, man, after I beat you and knock you out, I'm gonna fuck your dog. And they just showed the video of the dog looking all worried. I mean, it's some of the. I mean, he just had some great moments, man, and it shines for sure.
Yeah, he's
And the
actually
duck.
stays in Hickory, North Carolina. I'm in Fayetteville, so it's actually a good guy to represent our state right now. I definitely know when they bring Bare Knuckle out in North Carolina, he'll probably be like the headliner of that one for sure. I would think.
Oh yeah, that'd be sweet, man. I used to live in Carolina for a few about half a year with a baby mama I had. But
You
yeah, I
think
used
the
to live.
judges got that fight right? Some people were saying that Tony should have won that one.
I don't know, man. The knockdowns should count for a lot, you know.
Yeah,
And even though he was coming forward, he was being the aggressor, man. He was taking a lot of shots coming in, and I mean, his face
yeah.
was battered. You know, damage, all that shit adds up. So, I mean, it was
Well,
a
they.
win for
I
both of them.
mean,
They both got a
they
win. I
definitely
mean, they
put their
doubled the
heart and soul
pay.
into that one. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Dakota doubled the pay, and they still got a bonus on top of that. I mean, they both was winners in that. So that was
You
like
think
some.
Feldman knew that was coming? The double the pay.
Nah,
You think that was something Connor just did on the fly?
his facial expression, it didn't look like it.
Yeah, it looked like he was ready to snatch the mic back, like from.
Man, it looked like he was like Carter. I hope that's coming out your money,
That's what I
man.
was thinking. Like that's got to be coming out of Connor's pockets right
Oh,
there,
yeah,
man,
yeah, he
because
got
it
to be
didn't look
tipping
like
that money
Feldman knew
in.
about that.
Nah, it didn't look like you too happy. But he was like, bonus, yeah, but double pay? Oh, hold on. You might be paying them a little too much already. Yeah, that's funny.
So I always got to ask, like, what's your feeling on the female of bare knuckles? Like, what kind of respect factors should these females get in there in bare knuckle?
Oh, man, the girls, off the bat, it's kind of crazy, right? Because you see girls fight. I mean, they're pretty, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
everybody, they're already getting all the attention in the world, and then they go in there, and then they're like these girls in bare knuckle are dogs. It's not like the girls you see in boxing or see in MMA where they're just, you know, they're trying to use the defense, trying not to get hit. Like these chicks don't give a fuck about getting hit. They get in each
yeah.
other's face and just bang, man. And it's exciting, man. And then I think that like some of the most exciting fights just this year alone was some of the female fights.
I do too, because they always usually go the distance, and they take a lot of punishment, but don't really have the knockout power. They just got the knockdown power, and it's like so they're just getting beat up, man, like the whole time.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to think where women martial arts is still, you know, come from Ronda Rousey to like now with women
Yeah,
participating in like martial arts and stuff. So it's just a matter of time till like they actually start knocking each other out and start knocking each other down. I mean, it's just the you know the boxing got to catch up with the women. There's still a lot of history they got to catch up with them. You know, I feel like.
so what advice would you give somebody that's getting into this for the first time?
Uh, my advice if you getting into bare knuckle, I would say just fucking come in and if you gonna do this, man, you gotta be a dog and you gotta fucking bite down and actually fight and can't come in here worried I'm gonna get cut. Can't come in worried I'm gonna break a hand. You can't come in here just come in here and fight and put on a show. And I mean, and David Feldman, them guys are gonna see it and they just gonna keep pushing you along, man. They gonna keep doing business with you, and that's what it's all about. Is putting on a show for the fans, not just getting a win. You know, the wins don't really mean shit. You know, the titles aren't that old. This show's still not that old. I mean, it's not like we got a lot of history. When you call yourself a
Mhm.
world champion, it's really, you know, we're still growing that world champion status. So it's really just about putting on a show for the fans and growing the sport. So that's what my advice be. Just come in and fight and be a dog.
And I would think the common like knowledge of knowing like fighters ain't gonna go like probably 20-0 and 30-0 in this sport. Just that you might go 6-0, 7-0, 8-0, but at some point, man, you're gonna take a loss probably early in this sport.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't. It's hard to stay undefeated and doing something like this. I mean, the
Yeah.
only one that can do it is Kai Stewart. So, so
And everybody's gunning for him. So I mean, they still ain't put Brandon Allen up against him yet, so we don't know how that's gonna go.
yeah, I mean, and
And
that's the
Brandon
thing about
Allen's
this
been over
sport,
there,
man.
licking his chops, waiting for that fight.
Yeah, you that's the thing, man. You see guys from all levels. I mean, there's some of these guys that got some extensive boxing history, some extensive boxing backgrounds, and I mean, they'll hurt you. They hit you clean. They can really hurt you in there. And I mean, but then you got guys that do Muay Thai, do kickboxing, that got a different kind of game. So it's, I mean, it's so many ways to get beat in there, and there's so many different kind of opponents you can get matched up with. So I really like it, like this kind of sport. To be honest, it plays into my hand for real.
Yeah, that guy. I don't know. Is that Dan Coleman guy? Is he in your weight class?
Uh, Dan Coleman.
He fought
The
last night. He pretty.
fought
He
last
looked
night. Short,
good.
short
Yeah,
guy. I think he got a TKO.
yeah, he looked pretty
Right.
good.
Yeah. I think he looked a little thicker than me. Looked pretty thick.
So, what are we gonna expect? October 25th at the Denver Coliseum.
I mean, it's gonna be fireworks. Denver is a great show, man. They love fighting. I went to the last show when our fight got canceled. And just sitting in the crowd, I mean, they love fighting. So I mean, with that crowd energy behind me, man, I'm a fight to death. So expect fucking a
So,
dog
what can
fight,
your
man.
opponent expect?
I mean, I'm be in his face. I'm be begging. I mean, he's kind of cut from the same cloth as me a little bit. He like to get in there and get in close and just bang and go for it. So I mean, with that element, I mean, it's gonna be a hell of a fight. So I like fights like that when two people matched up and there's just the anticipation of what they'll do and then we deliver. So I like shit like that.
Now, have you
Hopefully
gotten
we
the
get that
title
belt.
shot yet? Have you gotten the title shot yet?
No, man. But everybody who beats me gets one. Ridge beat me, got a title shot. Dagoberto beat me, got a title shot. I mean, it's just my career, man. Uh, when it comes to like just saying with MMA, guys beat me and then one fight after beat me, they in the UFC or they getting a shot at the fucking contender series. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's just, I don't know what that says about me, but I mean, you beat me, you on to the championship. So I think I
I
should be
mean,
close.
if you win this fight, you'll be at 4-3. I mean, I'm thinking if you maybe a rematch with what's his
Yeah,
name? The
Dagoberto.
Dagoberto cat.
Yeah, Dagoberto, that'd be a good rematch. I wouldn't mind fighting Dodson. The dude I want to fight is Tatsuki, the Japanese cat that Justin Martinez got his ass whooped by. That's the dude I want to fight. He
Are
looks.
you into
He,
calling
I mean,
cats out?
yeah. I mean, I'm always calling people out. As
Okay.
soon as I see how good they look, I'm talking shit. So.
Yeah, some people they,
Yeah.
they they try to be, I guess they call it being classy or whatever, like they don't want to call nobody out. But I think in this sport, man, sometimes you might have to call people out and
I mean,
get some kind of reaction.
it's not a lot of us in this sport. I mean, so if you're not gunning for the last guy that fought, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't get what you're doing. I mean, I'd rather fight the guy that the fans already seen already than rather just fight some random. So,
Yeah. Well, we about to hit the 30-minute mark. Before we let you go, man, any shout outs you want to do?
I just want to shout out my gym here in Wichita, Kansas, Valor Martial Arts. Uh, Great gym, man. They bring in some great people to do seminars, for jujitsu and stuff like that. So I really appreciate them for taking care of me and my coach Charles. My coach Charles beat a Hall of Famer. He beat James Toney for a world
Oh
title.
man.
So that's someone I have in my corner. So I always appreciate Coach Charles. So yeah, shout out to Valor and Coach Charles.
Oh, one more question before you go. Were you not able to fight the Kansas card because of your injury?
No, it's the last Denver card. Cause cause of my injury, I wasn't able to get on it. So
Okay, because I figured being
yep,
like Kansas being your home state, you would have tried to get on that card if you could have.
yeah, oh yeah, the Kansas City card too. Yeah, they
Yeah.
wouldn't let me get in. So I went and watched the crowd too. That was a good show too, man. They be packing these crowds, man. It be a live event is way better than watching it
On the
on stream
TV.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, man, I appreciate you taking out your time, man, and I wish you all the best of luck. And I'm gonna be watching the fight, man. And anything you post, I'm gonna make sure I support, like, follow, comment, all that good stuff.
I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna share this interview, man. Thank you.
I appreciate it, man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, you too.
All right, peace. Well, there you have it. Another BKFC interview. That was Chancey Superfly Wilson. Basically, you got the nickname Superfly because that's the weight class he fights, the men's flyweight division. He's currently 3-3, number fourth ranked, and he'll be fighting in Denver, Colorado, Denver Coliseum, October 25th, 2024. BKFC 67 with Kamosi versus DeP. And yeah, man. I can't wait. He done fought a good friend of the show, J.R. Ridge, and I said they were like pit bulls, man, like bulldogs in there, man. The way they were just going at each other, and this fight game is crazy, man. I'm not gonna lie. There's something about BKFC that's really really interesting to me, man. That's different than UFC, um, and boxing and other combat sports and whatnot. I don't know what it is, and yeah, they got some flaws and things they need to work on, like every other company and every business on the planet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but yeah, man. I mean, when you get 12 fights of bare knuckle in one night, I mean, it's really tough to beat. Like some of these boxing matches, they drag out the fights and they can tend to be boring and whatnot. But thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Paul Pickett Podcast. Peace, and I'm out.